what about, if you were a producer on this show, who would you like let go for next season to get the ratings back up?
Okay, so if I'm going to really put on producer hat, I would recast the entire show. I would start from brand new. I would take all the lessons that I learned and I would recast the show in its entirety, and I would relaunch the New York Housewives.
In other words, let everybody go.
I would recast the entire franchise and relook. I would re-strategize the show. I would look at, as a producer, as a businesswoman, I can speak as an entrepreneur. If I got a seat at the table, these would be the questions I'd be looking at all the ratings. I'd be looking at all the shows. I'd be looking at what the diverse groups are, who's looking into it. I mean, there's so many layers of a decision like this. But personally speaking, because I've been a part of the upset from the beginning, like where they fired half the cast, they were going to replace it. And to be honest with you, initially there was more than just 3 on the block. They weren't really sure how much they were going to upset the cast. And the reason for that is, so let's go back to facts and history, is it was never cast to be the Real Housewives of New York. It was cast to be a show called Manhattan Moms. So that's why New York was an anomaly. It was like a little bit different than all the other ones. So now, knowing what I know, knowing the franchise I had built, knowing that the girls that were on the show for 10, 11 years, I think it's like 11 years now, right? Well, no, 13 years.
Yeah.
13. So for 13 years, I mean, I think that that's a really good run, and they've helped build the franchise. You know what I mean? There should be some sort of nice severance package, and they should even know that doesn't work with this contract. But that's what I would do if I were a producer of this show and I was running the Bravo network. I'd want to upset this apple cart and bring on some change and do some good work, along with the dramatic toxicity that, is addictive. And we know it is. And people love to watch it and tune in on it.
I love it. People always ask me that question too. I'm like, listen, I'm like a producer, a business person. It's nothing personal. Like, I'm just looking at this and these are the people I think should go. Like, no offense.
Yeah.
What about, well, if they were, okay, do you feel anyone should be brought back from the past then if you were going to let everyone go?
Not really, because I'm a perfect example, and maybe I wasn't, everybody's top pick, but I was a pretty neutral choice. You know what I mean? That I think that there's history, and the history doesn't need, and it needs to be reworked. It needs to be re-strategized. That's what I think.